The importance of home inspection, Part 1 Foot. As many of you know, we have been in a seller's market for a couple of years now. In multiple offer situations, some buyers elect to purchase a home without getting a home inspection, or they rely on some abridged version provided by the sellers. Often there is sufficient time for the buyer to do their own inspection in advance of the offer date. It may be a shame to do an inspection on a property that you will not own, but that is better than buying a place without knowing for sure that there are not any major deficiencies. You cannot rely solely on how nice a place appears to have been renovated. It is the stuff that you do not see that should be a concern. Most of the time the home sellers are hoping for multiple offers so that an inspector would not walk through the place and find the hidden deficiencies. Remember that all due diligence is on the buyer's shoulders. Do not trust home sellers or their agents. The home seller is not warranting anything when you buy a property, so please be careful and get your property inspected so you know precisely what you are dealing with. Home inspection basics in Ontario. What is included? 1.1 The Ontario Association of Home Inspectors is a not-for-profit professional society established in 1987. Membership in OHI is voluntary and its members include private, fee-paid home inspectors. The objectives of OHI include promotion of excellence within the profession and continual improvement of its members' inspection services to the public. 2. Purpose and scope. 2.1 The purpose of these standards of practice is to establish a minimum and uniform standard for private, fee-paid home inspectors who are members of the Ontario Association of Home Inspectors. Home inspections performed to these standards of practice are intended to provide the client with information regarding the condition of the systems and components of the home as inspected at the time of the home inspection. 2.2 Inspector shall inspect 1. Readily accessible systems and components of homes listed in these standards of practice. 2. Installed systems and components of homes listed in these standards of practice. B. Report 1. On those systems and components inspected which, in the professional opinion of the inspector, are significantly deficient or are near the end of their service lives. 2. A reason why, if not self-evident, the system or component is significantly deficient or near the end of its service life. 3. The inspector's recommendations to correct or monitor the reported deficiency. 4. On any systems and components designated for inspection in these standards of practice which were present at the time of the home inspection but were not inspected and a reason they were not inspected. 2.3 These standards of practice are not intended to limit inspectors from including other inspection services, systems or components in addition to those required by these standards of practice. B. Specifying repairs, provided the inspector is appropriately qualified and willing to do so. C. Excluding systems and components from the inspection if requested by the client. 3. Structural system. 3.1 The inspector shall inspect 1. The structural components including foundation and framing. 2. By probing a representative number of structural components where deterioration is suspected or where clear indications of possible deterioration exist. Probing is not required when it would damage any finished surface or where no deterioration is visible. B. Describe 1. The foundation and report the methods used to inspect the underfloor crawl space. 2. The floor structure. 3. The wall structure. 4. The ceiling structure. 5. The roof structure and report the methods used to inspect the attic. 3.2 The inspector is not required to provide any engineering service or architectural service. B. Offer an opinion as to the adequacy of any structural system or component. 4. Exterior. 4.1 The inspector shall inspect 1. The exterior wall covering, flashing and trim. 2. All exterior doors. 3. Attached decks, balconies, stoops, steps, porches, and their associated railings. 4. The eaves, soffits, and fascias where accessible from the ground level. 5. The vegetation, grading, surface drainage, and retaining walls on the property when any of these are likely to adversely affect the building. 6. Walkways, patios, and driveways leading to dwelling entrances. Describe the exterior wall covering. 4.2 The inspector is not required to inspect 1. Screening, shutters, awnings, and similar seasonal accessories fences. 2. Geological, geotechnical or hydrological conditions. 3. Recreational facilities. 4. Outbuildings. 5. Seawalls, break walls, and docks. 6. Erosion control and earth stabilization measures. 5. Roof system. 5.1 The inspector shall inspect 1. The roof covering. 2. The roof drainage systems. 3. The flashings. 4. The skylights, chimneys, and roof penetrations. 5. Describe the roof covering and report the methods used to inspect the roof. 5.2 The inspector is not required to inspect 1. Antennae. 2. Interiors of flues or chimneys which are not readily accessible. 3. Other installed accessories. 6. Plumbing system. 6.1 The inspector shall inspect 1. The interior water supply and distribution systems including all fixtures and faucets. 2. The drain, waste and vent systems including all fixtures. 3. The water heating equipment. 4. The vent systems, flues, and chimneys. 5. The fuel storage and fuel distribution systems. 6. The drainage sumps, sump pumps, and related piping. B. Describe 1. The water supply, drain, waste, and vent piping materials. 2. The water heating equipment including the energy source. 3. The location of main water and main fuel shutoff valves. 6.2 The inspector is not required to inspect 1. The clothes washing machine connections. 2. The interiors of flues or chimneys which are not readily accessible. 3. Wells, well pumps, or water storage related equipment. 4. Water conditioning systems. 5. Solar water heating systems. 6. Fire and lawn sprinkler systems. 7. Private waste disposal systems. B. Determine 1. Whether water supply and waste disposal systems are public or private. 2. The quantity or quality of the water supply. C. Operate safety valves or shut-off valves.